You're live.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I am Pope Robo on Twitter, Pope Robo on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams, and maybe this evening your screens, as we are back in the northern frozen reaches of Westeros for Brotherhood of Shadows, a Song of Ice and Fire. But before we get our recap, let's go around and meet this fantastic cast I've been tormenting for weeks now. Going first with Spencer. How you doing, my friend?
I am great. I am Spencer DVA on Twitter, Discord, etc. And I play Elyon Storm, a man who recently lost a limb and has had it medicated question mark via having a hot iron just pressed against his leg. And he is currently unconscious, so that's fun times for me.
Speaking of fun, Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm Greg. I'm playing Stryke, the old weathered wilderness adventurer who's trying to keep these two alive, and is 75% successful with Elyon so far.
Till that percentage goes zero, it's all good. Speaking of all good, Celeste, how you doing?
I am, in fact, all good. Hey, y'all, it's Celeste. I use they, he pronouns. I'm playing Bryndon Flowers, everybody's favorite bastard of the Reach, also using they, he pronouns, and we saved a life and most of a body, so everything's coming up, Bryndon? Question mark?
Didn't save a leg, though.
Listen. These were dire circumstances. I'm doing my fucking best.
Love you, Celeste.
Can't all be.
Yeah, love your insurance, Spencer.
And on that note of love, friendship, brother. For those of you who are just joining us, I want to get you up to speed. There's been much. First, starting off at Eastwatch by the Sea, along the wall in Westeros, the time of the dawn of the first Blackfire Rebellion. A bunch of greenhorns, new to taking their oaths, were being sent out with a few senior members of the Brotherhood out into the frozen north to get blooded, as their commander would say. There had been seen by the scouts a number of dire wolves. A strange sight to be out this close to the shores and away from the haunted forest. But sighted they were, and 10 left Eastwatch to go and deal with these unusual and dangerous creatures. And they trounced through the haunted forest, much to everyone but Stryke's chagrin, and through that frozen hell they marched. Find the wolves they did, being tormented in the night by their howls, but not distant. No, that would be too easy. No, instead they stumbled upon a cabin in the woods that seemed to be occupied by a wight of unusual intelligence. As the brothers quickly made sense of what made no sense, they fled before the wolves could pursue alongside what was sighted a white walker who came to greet the intelligent white. They fled further north In doing, they lost the first of their number to disease. Upon burial along the shore, they came to secondary objective, second safe, a old tower. Something that, from the age of the first men, had been claimed by the Brothers in Black. Just recently, taken back, they found barred from the outside. Decided to inspect the strange goings on. Clearing away barricades, they found the tower mostly empty. Bizarre things going on in the basement. And signs of possibly a violent visit by one of the children of the forest. They decided to stay the night in the tower. And that came with unfortunate consequences. Some sort of beast made more of shadow than anything else broke free at the basement, alongside some other horrid thing. And the wolves accompanied them all. That, and an individual clad in bone armor, claiming to serve some sort of mistress. With magic, blade, fang, and claw, many of the Brotherhood died. But the few who remained, and quickly becoming 6, fled north. There was a note in one of the maps they saw in the tower before hell was rained upon the Brotherhood. And through the haunted forest, with some trepidation and no joy, just a desperate need for safety, for answers. They trotted on, and the haunted forest spat them back out hard. The farthest northern port in all of Westeros. The last spot of civilization north of the river. And in that port they found a healer. They found a few answers, and they found a couple of mysteries. Some terrible beast, called a Hullbreaker, terrorizing frozen off the coast of Arden. And some of their brothers had gone off to grab this cache, survivors of Terror Tower. Between the healing and inspections, making friends with the locals, the bits of the cache were reclaimed. Brothers said goodbye to. Brothers thought long dead, found, and a bargain struck with pirates. Cannibalistic pirates. Skagosi. Terrors of the North. But these intrepid, maybe crazed, individuals saw a problem, and the only way to solve it was to murder a beast. And so they endeavored upon the icy seas and tangled the monster. It was slain, but not before taking a terrible doom. Many of the men aboard the Stone Bones died fighting the Hullbreaker. Tossed into the frozen depths, chewed to bits, or worse, by that terrible fish. And amongst the remaining brothers, now 7. Well, 7.7, 6.75. as Elyon had lost a leg to the beast. But not fully, just a little bit bluntly. But through intrepid help from Stryke and Bryndon, that was all he lost. And life should have been claimed by that frozen hell. And that's where we find the remaining brothers aboard the stone boats, listing to the port side she had taken on water. The intrepid members of the crew patching the holes punched by the hull breaker, but not before taking on significant water. And, well, losing most of her crew. So, in a frozen morn, where do we find Bryndon?
I imagine probably feeling no small amount of guilt for the holes that wound up punched in the ship. He's probably been doing his best to, if nothing else, bail out the water.
Bailing is appreciated, as
Yeah.
there has been shifts upon the crew, just dragging buckets from the bilge and pouring them over the edge. And that smelly, awful task, you found yourself here, rubbing arms with cannibals, pirates, men that by your oath you should kill. But, at least on this day, their crew, their allies, and you heave with sore muscle, bale after bale full of salt water and worse over the side. Where do we find Stryke?
Stryke is standing upon the deck, looking out at the sea, at the place where the hullbreaker was, at the storm that passed. And his gaze is headed to the north to kind of look at what he fears is coming, what he thinks might have been happening up there, and hopefully to catch a glimpse of just the wild north as well.
As the ship was listing, the captain did his best to guide her back towards the eye of shore, just in case the ship needed to be abandoned. And with the dawn, you see a tree line. You know you're at least a day from Hardhome, by what you can see of the coast road, what you can see of the forest. By ship, you're probably an hour day's journey to the tower, and from that, 2 days still from Eastwatch. At least 3 days at sea, with favorable winds and good weather. Right now, the winds are slack, but the weather holds now. And just as your sight, seeing that, well, at least in Stryke's eyes, that blessed snow-covered green, we hear a sploosh as more water goes over the side. But then we cut down to Elyon. Where do we find you
Well,
Man
I
with-
assume I'm still unconscious at this point? Question mark.
Oh, yeah. You.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The-
Okay,
the,
cool.
The good news is you didn't lose a lot of blood. Bryndon
Yeah,
saw to
yeah.
that. You didn't lose a lot of blood, but you experienced a new kind of pain. A
Yeah.
horrific pain. And
Yeah.
your body said, I don't need to be awake
No.
for this.
That's a good question. I guess I posed this question with another. Where would Stryke and Bryndon have put Elyon?
I mean, there's probably not like medical quarters or anything like that on board.
No. As is much, not just where you find with pirates, but also ships of the time, even in our age. It was a luxury to have a surgeon, a medical officer aboard a pirate ship. Oftentimes, the closest thing to a doctor was the cook. Someone who wasn't squeamish about blood and meat, and was usually also good with the needle and thread. And so, if you wanted to keep him near the closest thing to a medical officer aboard, he'd be near the cook's quarters.
But keep in mind who we are dealing with. You put me with the cook.
Yeah, there does seem to be a little bit of a hesitancy to go too near the cook with Elyon. So, I mean, if there's not a storm and the weather is clear, and we can find like a place to lay him out on the deck, I could see him being somewhat near where I'm standing, just kind of laying unconscious, made as comfortable as we can do with what's on board.
I
love
like
it.
the picture that I'm seeing where that we hear the sploosh and the camera pans to go down but then just bobs back up as a psych out and then pans up and over and we see Stryke standing there, his gaze off in the distance, and then we pan beside him and not with any actual bedroll because that would be a kindness. No, just with the fabric from some of the tents laid out as his bed on deck, because those have been waxed and won't hold water. Elyon is laid out in his gear with the stump probably wrapped with what clean fabric could be found. Maybe a few herbs provided by the cook as a poultice applied. And out cold, maybe with his cloak being rolled up into a pillow. At least that's where the camera holds for a second. But then we go someplace else. We go someplace much else. It looks like the woods. That haunted wood that holds much of the expanse of the eastern part of the wall. Home to the Nightmare Clan, a group of wildlings notorious for living in the trees, being able to sprint, the best of them, supernaturally so. Silent as death itself. But they're not silent. They're being cut down. As trees are being pulled down. Not by giant hands or by howling winds, cracks of thunder. No. Hands. Many, many hands. And hungry mouths. And as a group effort, rending trees and giving those that the knob can find no place to hide, nowhere to run. We see outside the forest as an exodus of those who made it out, made it past, carrying what they can, are left frozen cold in the open waste, making their way west, away from the only home they've known, away from the hell that moves south. And this bird-eye view of terror that is happening in the haunted forest moves again. It circles hard home. What's left of it. Fires burn across its charred carcass. Winds howl, along with the groans of the dead and dying. The wolves and worse broke through the gates and took who they can and what they can. And continue further south. And then we snap to flyover of Eastwatch itself. Plenty of men. Plenty. All going about their regular business, none the wiser of what comes from the north. Just concerned about a ship that hasn't returned. Not even knowing or caring about the 10 that left. Still plenty of time for them to have gone out and be on their way to making their way back. All the time. All is as it should be, at least in their eyes. And then finally, the bird lands upon an unnatural perch. A woman clad in green robes, eyes like emeralds, teeth like swords, skin as paler than the snow. A hissing sound escapes her lips as she gently drags her finger along under the beak of this majestic bird of prey. And then the head snaps towards the camera as she hisses malevolently, caws out, and we see this time they're close enough. But she doesn't just have one row of teeth, two. As Elyon, you finally awake, having seen all of that.
They have no idea what's coming.
You're awake.
Yeah. Let's call it awake.
It's good. It seemed like you were okay, but always get worried with injuries like that.
And I think at this point, because it's so recent, Elyon's still got a little bit of like the phantom limb effect going on with the leg. And they will look down, see that the leg is gone, and it's just like, well, we at least killed the damn thing, right?
It is dead.
Okay. How far do we think we are from land, Eastwatch?
My guess is around 3 days travel.
We'll probably strain a lot to try and, like, sit up. You know, it's at a weird angle because of how the ship is listing. Not sure how long until those armies get to the wall, but you have to try and get there before they do. Because those people at Eastwatch don't know what's coming. They're all fucking dead.
I know something bad is coming. But do you know more than that? What are these armies?
Armies of... Because it's basically what, just undead and wolves, basically.
From what your vision saw, any beast that you saw didn't have blue eyes, didn't look dead,
Okay, yeah.
but they had just a shimmer of green about them.
Remind me, Bruce survived the encounter, right?
Yep.
Is Bruce on the deck with us?
Bruce is not on deck. Bruce could not sleep during the night.
Mm-hmm.
Spent all of his time bailing, and now he has found some dark, dry hole to curl up and sleep in as dawn broke.
Fair. Okay. Army of Beasts. The Night Runner clan of the... Wait, yeah. I know they were Night Runners, looking at them trying to hop through trees, probably.
Yeah.
And...
You have run into them personally on multiple occasions. You know these people.
The Night Runner clan's practically decimated. Whatever these things are that are coming, I don't think any of the brothers in the wall can hold that back unless a miracle happens.
Stryke does give you a kind of just a look as you talk of things that you clearly couldn't know, but then nods.
I know it sounds probably fucking crazy, but I know what I saw.
I'm not one to ignore a portent. That's why we're out on this boat in the first place. We're going as fast as we can.
And he won't try to take the bandages off, but he'll probably, you know, just to extra confirm, feel around at the stump. Ah, fuck. Okay.
It hurts. It's disconcerting because you can feel where it ends. You feel the pain, but also your brain tells you that you can wiggle your toes. There are no toes to wiggle. Your brain says you can wiggle your toes. It is horror of a unique and terrible kind.
I assume that giant fish took it off.
It does look like you lost another part of yourself up here in the north.
This time, something a little bit more physical. Fuck. Well, at least it wasn't Skakosi food.
I think we can feel comfortable.
As that is overheard, in a language you do not speak, a body rollicking song breaks out. You can
Oh,
only
no.
guess as to what they're singing about.
Oh. Oh. I don't speak. What the fuck they're speaking? I assume it's something about what I just said.
I assume they have multiple rowdy songs for each various type of limb they might prepare.
That's not reassuring.
I don't think my job here is to reassure. But
Fair
if
enough.
we want to go faster, then perhaps now that you're awake, I should go assist with getting water out of the bilges. For as you can see, the ship is also is a little less, is worse for the wear.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you can help it, take me with you. I am not staying on the deck with these people.
The singing
Strike
gets
definitely
louder.
I think it's something he would react. He was like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, Strike might have had like an initial like, no, you can't bail, but as soon as like that, he like just shrugs his shoulders and like offers you a hand or whatever, to let you hop along beside him.
Okay.
As I guess that's going to be the mode at the moment until we find you a correct.
Yeah.
And heads down towards the bilge nice and slowly.
And you head on. You find in the line, you pass as you make your way below deck. Ogden with his good arm, and Ferris standing in the line helping pass along bilge water up and out. But as you finally make your way to a portion of the line where, Elyon, you can sit on a hammock that's not being occupied at the moment, something to get you up and out of the way without having to worry about bracing yourself for trying not to slide, or just feeling awkward. Bryndon manages to find you. It seems now that he's aboard ship, and the thing is dead, I should say. He's a lot more at ease, even though he's surrounded by pirates and cannibals and who knows what else. But a bit of the spark of that cabin boy that was is back.
Hey, kid.
And hi. Not the first time I've had a brother lose a leg. Managed to scrounge a few things.
Have
Hopefully no
any
one
of them
finds it
ever...
missing.
Has anyone ever lost one to something similar to what we just fought back there?
No. First time anything like a monster happened.
Okay.
Just kind
I'll
of
take
stares
it.
awkwardly. But he has managed to cobble together from what was probably someone else's peg leg. At least the socket for it. And also one of the unicorn horn ornamentations about the ship grew a pet leg.
That's super sweet of him.
It's
But it
rough.
works.
It it's not incredibly comfortable. It still aches to have it on. Like, you are... But in an emergency, you think you can tough it out, and you can hobble along with this.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I'm going to pose this question to Benjamin, but it's also a question to you, Pope. Those weapons, do you still have them?
Most of them. The important ones are still in Brother Stryke's care, but the other cache, a few went with those boats, didn't come back. But the majority of them we still have. They're with the other tents that weren't laid out for your litter.
I'll take most. And he'll probably need a little help from Benjamin, but try and just force the makeshift peg leg on.
I'm actually going to roll his medicine check to see how awful.
Oh no.
He was trained as a student, so he's not
Okay,
all
well, I'll take it. I'll take it.
It sucks, but
Okay,
it is secure. You let out a holler as he tightens down one of those straps good and quick. And the thing is, the holler doesn't startle him. It's like he's done this before.
Sure.
But this was not done with, care or bedside. This was done utilitarian and more along the lines of, this is what's good for you, I'm just going to get it over with. And just tightens the straps and finds a bit more cloth to pack around the socket. Until we can get back to Eastwatch, where we can find you something better. This should allow you some mobility.
Fuck me. It's better than nothing. So, how are you taking a life on a boat with a bunch of cannibal pirates?
It's not that much different from what I had previous, except they're far more likely to sing at random intervals.
Oh, I've experienced it. Mentioned something
Yeah,
about
it's
not
kind
being
of
Skakosi
unsettling.
food. And they started singing when I said it.
Yes, that seems to be just the immediate reaction to anyone who isn't from Skagos. If they start mentioning cannibalism, they start singing. And what I can tell of the language, it's not unique to them, but it is unique to them. Something they call the old tongue. Something that was a precursor to what we all speak now.
Well, they haven't tried to kill me yet, so it's better than hard home. And I'll just sort of, not super rough, but give him like a slightly harder pat on the shoulder.
He
Kid.
takes it pretty well. Thank you. Press well, brother. And
I'll rest. Whether or not it's well, yet to be seen.
got time. And
I like to
he
imagine
just...
Elyon tries. I'll let you finish. Sorry.
No, like as you're getting yourself more comfortable, and you let your eyes off of him a second. He is gone.
Oh.
Disappeared into the ship without a sound. Like, you know Ogden can be quiet when he wants to be. You know Stryke can be quiet when he wants to be. This small child aboard this vessel is a ghost.
Interesting. I like to imagine before he gets comfortable, he'll try to stand up and walk around a bit with the peg leg, but just immediately eat shit. And then he's just like, okay, I guess back to rest it is. Will sort of pull himself sadly up into a hammock and then just sort of lays.
The creaking of the vessel, and there is now a contrasting of songs, as you can hear a bit more of the singing from above deck, but down below, towards the bilge, towards where Bryndon is, another song has broken out.
Oh.
This one less likely because it's not nearly as jolly about eating people. This one is more of a slightly more melodic, mournful tune, but just allowing those that are along the line to keep time. And Bryndon, everyone down there that you're working with has just gotten into a rhythm with this song, and things are being passed up. The folks around you look and smell like hell, because these are folks that are taking over for the ones that are initially doing this. The handful of carpenters and engineers that immediately went to work when the hull breaker breached the hull are all now asleep. So these are the folks that didn't have to do it the first go round, have either gotten a little sleep and are now down here helping, or have yet to sleep and are going on adrenaline and spite.
Bryndon has probably, as he's like caught the melody, or at least that portion that like somebody's leading and then everybody else repeats, he's probably caught the melody, and he does that part, but he hums it because he doesn't know the words, because the words aren't in his language.
Right. I actually want you to give me a check here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's have a persuasion act check from Bryndon. Didn't quite catch that. I think you're muted.
12. Sorry, I did in fact mute.
Okay. 12. You're not perfectly on pitch, but you're definitely on rhythm. You definitely picked up the melody, and the people around you respect you for trying and respect you for participating, as they are all tired and they don't want to be here doing this, but they're doing this anyway, and you're right alongside them. So they appreciate your efforts both musically and physically.
Sorry,
So,
I forgot something. Again, I keep forgetting this. One of my qualities is attractive. I get to re-roll ones on persists, and I got 2 ones.
Reroll!
That's a 13 now, so not much difference.
A little more on 2.
Just a teeny bit.
Hey, take every inch, give nothing back. But yeah, no, they're respecting you as you go about your day and go about your time here. And Stryke, you find your brothers and are in line with them, helping to pass this water up. Ogden is barely here and is just doing this mechanically, operating more on spite than anything else. Spite and adrenaline. Ferris is here, but he is getting tired. He has probably been doing this the longest of the brothers, just passing along water and getting it out, as he's starting to slow.
Well, I'm definitely looking to replace one of them in line so that they can get some rest. I think I should do Ogden, but, you know, he looks like he's in a roll, so we'll do Ferris.
Ferris thanks you. And just very slowly goes off in a direction where you think that's where Benjamin went off to. Ferris stumbling his way towards the prow of the ship, under deck, and you take up your position in the line, and more water gets poured out. Actually, Stryke, Bryndon, I want you to give me a endurance stamina test.
I got a 17.
10.
Makes sense. You've been doing this a bit longer. Bryndon, in about, 4 more songs, you're about ready to call it in.
Yeah.
You know where the rest of the brothers, you know where Bruce is, probably where Benjamin, your store, your cache of weapons and stuff, towards the prow of the ship. Way up, there are some makeshift bedding up there in a few hammocks that will probably, procure an engine from folks that aren't going to be missing. Stryke, you carry on far longer, probably keeping an eye on Elyon, who is perched not too far away, but after a while even Ogden gives out as you continue on. And with that, I think we're going to call at least the day of this to a close, as with multiple hours and pretty much every man that can be mustered working on this bilge, eventually, as night falls, the stone bones is no longer listed. Your muscles burn. You smell the high heaven and hell. But you're safe for now. Everything is yours.
See, I guess once the new day comes, first things first, I need to roll for an injury for recovery.
Oh yeah. By all
That's gonna be
means, do so.
fun.
And because the poultice
Okay.
will say you get a +1 bonus die.
Oh, thank you. You're much too kind. Okay,
The
that's
cook-
actually...
The
It's
cook
not
on this vessel is
terrible.
actually quite good. What you get?
Let's see. So, if I'm doing this right, it is a 10.
It's not great, but it's not
Not
terrible.
great, no. Yeah.
Let's check my notes and injury healing. So this is our endurance test. You are doing this with next to no activity. So you managed to remove 1 injury.
Woo! I did it. 3 injuries
So-
now. 3 more.
Yeah. Hey, it's better than getting
one less.
nothing back.
Yeah, it's 1 less. That's what I care about.
Now, does anyone want to speak with one another this evening, or they want to wait till the next day?
I'm good till next day.
Bryndon probably winds up at least passing by Elyon on his way to a hammock or bed or whatever.
He's just sitting there rocking.
Peg leg.
Yeah. It's a unicorn horn on it. And he'll sort of raise the leg up a little bit higher. Ow! And then put it back down.
And with that cry of pain, I want to cry a thank you to our raiders from Weavetail. We are playing Brotherhood of
Huzzah.
Shadows, a Song of Ice and Fire Tale. You are joining us for a penultimate episode. We are aboard the Stone Bones, a Skagosi pirate vessel that has just slain a beast of legend in the shivering seas, a Hullbreaker, and are now 6.75 brothers have taken refuge aboard this vessel, making its way back to Eastwatch by the sea, hopefully ahead of a coming battle. With that, Elyon has just shown Bryndon his new unicorn peg leg.
Ah, fuck. That hurts. Oh, that hurts. Oh, I
I
can
bet
still
it
feel
does.
my toes. I can still feel my toes. Oh, that's so good. Fuck me.
Well, I'm sorry that I didn't pull you all back. I did the best that I could, but
It's a giant fucking fish. Wouldn't expect you to be stronger than it. Or faster, for that matter.
I suppose being alive is still worth something.
The way I feel right now feels like being dead would be better.
I could always throw you back.
The boys got jokes. Boys got jokes.
You asked me before, why I took the oath.
Mm-hmm.
Did you still want to know?
I guess now's as good a time as fucking ever. We got a few days.
His name was Trenton. You're a bastard, so you know how it goes. We don't have claim to anything. No lands, no titles, but what we can make for ourselves. I didn't have a whole lot of talents when it came to fighting or anything, really. The one thing I had was a silver tongue and a few bedroom talents I picked up from Mother and the other whores.
Kind, like, stifles a, like, awkward cough / laugh. It's hard to interpret, but he's listening.
So I deigned to perhaps sleep my way into some measure of power. There are worse plans out there. But I made what some would call a rookie mistake and fell in love.
Slept with the wrong person. Oh.
Trenton didn't... His wife was a witch in her own right. In public, he was the one in control, and she was a good wife and did as she ought, but in private, I heard the things that she said to him. She told him how worthless he was, and she was the one really in control, and I cared about him, and I wanted to get him out of that. I thought maybe hang status, we could at least go make a modest living for ourselves and be happy. Maybe. But she found out. I thought she was gone for the evening and went to see him, and there he was, tied up. And she was right there next to him, cradling a knife to his neck.
She sounds like a fucking Lannister.
She gave me a choice. I could either go and take the oath on my own, or she could slit his throat and call for the guards, and I'd probably be forced to take the black that way. And who would believe a bastard over the grieving wife of a nobleman?
My
So
story's
here I
basically the opposite way. Sorry. After you say that, that's when Ellion's like, my story's basically the opposite way around. I just question. I know Spencer knows I am a Targaryen bastard. Elyon has learned that he is a Targaryen bastard, sort of, from Rivers. Does he know who his father is?
Based on that visitation, I'm going to give you a chance to figure out who your father is.
Okay, cool. I'm down for that.
Scandal.
I am going to require
Yeah.
a specific test.
One I'm probably not the best at, but I'll take it.
Nope, you're probably not the best at I am going to give you a choice.
Okay.
So, you can either do a knowledge education test
Yep.
or a status breeding test.
A status. Oh man. Both of those are kind. They're both the same, and I've got a wound, so this is just gonna be awful. I'm trying to remember, when you subtract dice, you have to subtract one of the higher ones, correct?
No. You don't have to subtract
Okay.
the highest. You just
In
narrow
that
your
case, okay. In that case, with my injuries, it's gonna be a big fat goose egg. That's 0.
You have no idea who your dear daddy is. You just know
I
that
know who my mother is.
he
Good enough.
he has the blood of kings.
Well,
That's all you've got.
Well, I had no clue who my fucking father was. But, born in the Stormlands, to my mother, Belindra Tarth. For a while, things were actually good. I had 2 brothers. While I was a bastard, they still treated me like one of their own. And, well, time comes when I'm an adult about, and dear mother decides that she wants to try and make a bastard son legitimate. As we all know, nobody likes that. You see someone with the last name Storm become a Tarth, well, you get a target on your back from day one. So, not really wanting to research my mother's name, still one of the best women I've met in my life, came here. House Tarth is a good one, and I wasn't going to bring any shame upon it.
You know, I said I hated it, but I don't regret it.
I assume this is in reference to saving me.
No, I'm sorry. Should have been
No,
more
no,
clear.
it's okay. No, you're good.
I meant the taking the black to begin with.
Oh, okay. Got
yeah,
it.
Being yeah.
Considering what I've been through in the past few days, I'm starting to regret it. Being a legitimate heir to a royal house actually sounds nice right now. I lose part of my body. I lose people I've been shits to, but I still cared about. And I probably lose the one person outside of House Tarth who loved me. And I am basically here with nothing. And here I'm confronted with visions of things I don't understand, and told by people I don't know that I'm the only one who can stop them. I don't know what fucking good I can do. I've lost a leg. I've lost basically the love of my life, and I have nothing. And he just sort of buries his head in his hands. Okay.
Bryndon claps a hand on his shoulder. You have us.
You just hear very muffled sobbing.
You have us.
I appreciate the sentiment, Bryndon. Right now, I mean this in no offense. You lot don't seem like a whole lot right now.
Give it time.
Thunder strikes. That's another storm. The evening storm. Our brothers stay below decks. There's a light show going on. Above decks, mixed between lightning strikes cloud to cloud. The roaring hues of white and gray across a night sky. There is cloud to ground strikes along the shore, and those are not white. Green flashes. As something old and terrible is awake, and it desires to kill. A rough night, but dawn still breaks. It is another day down, another day closer to Eastwatch. If the weather holds, and if the wind is good, you can make it in 2 days. Where did we find you all this morning?
Well, first things first, let's roll for my injuries real quick, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey! That's pretty good. That will be after injuries. A 13.
15. You heal 2.
13, I mean, not 15.
Well, 13. You heal 2.
Hey! I've only got 1 now. Neat. Oh.
A good cry often heals many wounds.
Oh. Man.
But the big question is, do any of you have breakfast?
Oh.
It's meat pies.
Oh no. Oh no, that meets people. Oh, that meets people. Oh,
You're
God.
not
I'm taking
sure.
my chances. I'm taking my chances.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think Stryke is also eating breakfast.
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
Elyon, you
Elyon
having meat
eats
pies?
too. Very heavily eats
Hey.
too. He's taking each bite extremely cautiously.
If you want to try and identify it, you can give me a knowledge roll.
Sure,
If
why
you don't
not?
care,
My
That's fine.
my 2 knowledge dice. Oh, one of them.
Ignorance is
fell.
bliss, Elyon. Ignorance is bliss.
I don't know. 6.
You can't identify the meat.
Okay.
You can identify it's heavily spiced. There are onions, which is a pleasant surprise. And there's a lot of garlic in this. A
Oh.
lot of garlic in this.
Mm.
Now you know where these Skagosi get their smell. It's the cooking.
Just because I think this would be funny. While we're eating, I assume I'm sitting near a Skagosi. And
Well, I will give you a choice.
okay.
You can have food brought to your little group in the prow of the ship, or you can eat with everybody above deck.
Okay. I mean, there's some people that we sort of kidnapped from Hardhome that are above deck, probably.
A few.
I kind
there
of...
are still two.
Elyon sort of feels bad. So I guess he'll go eat above deck. Here comes the peg leg guy. While I'm eating, I'll just like turn to one of the Skagosi. Just be like, out of curiosity, what is this?
And they just start singing.
No!
And the rest of the crew just break out singing.
No. Spencer doesn't... Both Spencer and Elyon are like, no. He hasn't eaten in a couple days. Fuck it.
Bryndon starts singing along just because he can tell it's making Elyon uncomfortable.
Fuck off, Bryndon.
You've learned a couple of tunes, and now you're starting to recognize some of the words. As the crew has a jolly good time at the expense of this one grumpy crow. But yeah, right now the first mate's at the wheel, scarfing down one of the meat pies, just looking down at the bulldog of you. All right, put your backs into this fucking thing. We might be able to make Eastwatch quick. Looks like the wind's picked up because of the storm, so we might be able to make some better time.
Good.
So, I want all of you to give me warfare checks.
I am actually good at this. Is there any like sub skill to warfare that would help with this, or just straight up warfare?
Let's say command.
Okay, I do not have
warfare
that, so I'm just rolling 4. I have tactics, but I don't have command.
I like that though.
Ugh, yikes.
I got a
7.
15.
7, 15.
Yeah.
Bryndon? What you got?
Bryndon?
Snake eyes.
Yeah!
So,
We're
2,
so good.
7, and 15.
On my casino dice.
Oh.
Which averages out to 8.
Oh, yeah.
Not great. Not great. Not the worst, but not great. So a lot of the surviving crew aren't necessarily familiar with the deck of a ship or what they're supposed to be doing, as most of the able-bodied crew were awake during the evening to get everybody through the storm. So during the day, it's a bunch of folks that are green to this entire process, and you're showing the green. You make a number of mistakes before you're corrected and get back on course and get the sails to go where they need to catch the wind. Good news is you're not any slower. Bad news is you're not any faster. And now I get to make a roll.
Oh no. There's another one.
And so that is a good portion of your day, is just working the sails. But in that time, you do have time to talk with one, should you choose.
Alright. There's new people here. I've talked to nothing but brothers for the past several days. Let's go talk to a Skagosi.
Oh, just one at random? Or do you want to talk to the first mate? Do you want to try and awaken the captain?
You know...
Who do you...
Let's make it some random guy, because that seems appropriate.
Oh, goody. I get to roll what I like to refer to as
a happy sad die.
Woo! Okay. What you want, Crow?
And talking to too many of those. Trying to get out of my comfort zone a bit.
Well, considering that you're wearing a unicorn horn for part of the leg, I think you're doing a fine job of getting out of that comfort zone.
Oh, trust me, it's nice, isn't it? I'm probably like grab onto something, just... It's like... So, how long has this ship been on the seas?
Stone Bones is older than me, older than my claims in this place. This is ship's fourth captain, so I don't count the years. Try not to. But
it's been a while, at least.
Yes.
Elyon is trying, but he is... It's not physically showing in his head. He's like, this guy eats people. This guy eats people. Why am I talking to him? This guy eats people.
Again, when he smiles, it's the standard Skagosi smile.
Yeah. It's similar to Strike's. It's similar to Strike's. It's still unsettling. And
say what you will about Stryke. His teeth.
So, for captains, could probably say it's been, what, close to a century, maybe?
Oh, I don't know.
Not sure how often you...
Potter's not known for being stable.
Apparently crows aren't either, and I'll just tap a fist against the peg leg.
You think a turned pirate there, Crow?
I wouldn't go that far.
More's the pity.
Sorry to say, but the sea's not really my affinity, friend.
Well, just 'cause you get bit every once in a while doesn't mean that she doesn't love you. Just smiles.
Elyon laughs, not sure if he finds the joke funny or if he is just scared. And it's like, It's a fair point. Fair point. So, Skagosa, you ever been to the wall before?
Not the wall. More interesting places than your wall.
Probably more interested in what's south of it, huh?
No. East. North.
East. He's trying to figure out what he means when he says east instead of south or north.
You probably don't know.
I have no clue.
People
Cool.
far
That's
stranger
fair.
than what you find here. Stuff from folk that do magic. Folk
Fair.
that have wrought with things older than this place. Good trade. Strange folk don't know the value of the stuff. Make it easy for us
Some
to
don't.
make coin.
Tell you what,
But then,
I got a fun story. You ever seen a dragon before?
dragon? No. No. Her tail's
Oh.
dragons. Never seen.
Well, people at Eastwatch have killed one.
Ooh.
That is a lie, and I will definitely roll for it. We hurt one. We did not kill one.
Go ahead and roll me deception.
Aw, yeah. My whole 2 dice. Aw, yeah. Not bad for 2 dice. After injuries, 9.
He gives you a hard look. Dragon tails seem to be all that the Westerosi can focus on. You got better
Oh.
things than dragons.
We hurt one, at least. Got its horn. Sitting as a, trumpet, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when you
Hurt
get
a
a
dragon, we
proper
use it
peg
for
leg, you'll
music.
turn that horn into a flute.
Huh? That would be better music than a trumpet.
Your horns are used for warming some colds. Make a bet with your crow. The horn that we hear when our ship is spotted. I'm willing to bet enough coin to pay for that. There won't be a horn of welcome. It'll be a horn
You said a horn of
warning.
what? Oh, gotcha.
It won't be a horn of welcome. It'll be a horn of warning.
Be a horn of warning. Yeah.
Your brothers
We
will be
will just
alive by
have
the time
to
we get there. But they'll be barely hanging on.
We shall see.
There were shadows on the wind. Shadows on the shore. Enough of us know
And
what's up.
Elyon will sort of raise an eyebrow when they say that.
Dead
Shadows. Oh, I've seen a couple of those in the past few days.
men. Yeah. Illuminated with green light. We'll drop
Trust me.
you off to our word. We're not sticking around.
I've seen beasts with that same glow, friend.
So, have you reconsidered piracy?
I'd rather take my chances.
Yeah. May the old goats be kind to you.
And yours to you.
And after a bit, in a voice that sounds familiar to the one you just spoke, a dirge-like tune comes from below deck as a bunch of the men in the chorus start singing something slow and sad. Stryke, what are you up to aside from hoisting the yard on?
We're not within sight of Eastwatch yet, right? So probably a day
No.
out still.
Yeah.
I think Stryke, other than generally nervously or kind of obsessively watching the shoreline, might go try and find that large woman that we recruited up in Hardhome and have a small conversation.
You go searching for her. And word has it on the vessel that she has taken up with the captain and is in the captain's quarters. Only bed that'll hold her. At least that's what the rumor says.
Well, I'm not barging into the captain's quarters for our conversation, but if an opportunity arises to catch her on deck later, I will do so. But given Bryndon's expression there, I think perhaps Stryke will wander over towards Bryndon at some point, and he's not good at this like rumor or gossiping thing, but just kind of let. Bryndon, did you know that lady and the captain seemed to have kind of hooked up?
Don't remind
sort of
me.
Surprised me.
Yeah, I heard.
Sea still looks like the sea today, I guess. Failing at small talk, he wanders off towards the railing. And that's it for me until we get near Eastwatch.
As you part, another song starts coming up as one of the crew spies that conversation. There was a bear, old black and brown, covered in hair. 3 boys, a goat, and a dancing bear. They dance in the spot up to the fair. Just starts breaking out as more of the Skagosi start up with the bear and the Maiden fair.
Bryndon does not sing along with this one.
But yeah, as you part, just as they're getting to the middle of the song, the door to the captain's quarters opens, and out steps a mountain of a woman, and the singing stops. And everyone gets quickly back to work. You have only seen this crew do anything of the sort, typically for the first mate or the captain. But that woman, yeah, no one wants to risk it. Might be they don't want to get punched by someone with that many muscles, or they don't want to piss off the captain, you're not sure. But they all get real busy real quick. If anyone would like to talk with the large lass, now is a good opportunity. But you might want to be on your guard, because it's obvious that she is in a bit of a huff.
Stryke will
Well.
look at Bryndon first before he makes a move.
A huff, you say?
A huff, I say.
From a distance, could I perhaps discern what may have caused said huff?
I'll give you an honest shot.
Okay.
Give me an awareness empathy test.
Oh, I was hoping you would say that. I am capable when I am in my element. 18.
18. Well, you don't know the precise things, as you cannot read time and space, but you've been around enough folks to know. One, folks don't like being teased about who they're bedding. That's sort of the obvious thing. But that's not the only reason she probably barged out of that door. And that sort of barging usually means that there was some sort of disagreement.
I see. Well, I'm going to sidle up surreptitiously. You don't seem in the best of moods.
What do you want, Crow?
Well, I don't want anything. Was wondering if maybe you didn't want to talk about it.
Not much to talk about. I'm getting off at Eastwatch.
I had thought that was the plan from the onset. Perhaps circumstances changed and then changed again?
Head cocks to one side. You can see the calculus going on. Whether she just wants to punch you, whether she wants to yell at you, whether she just wants to spill the beans. Then the head and neck straighten. And what's your defense?
My combat defense?
Yeah, your combat defense.
It's 12, however, can I opt to just take it, even if it wouldn't hit?
Oh, it will hit. It will hit whether you wanted it to or not.
Okay.
This woman is Freightliner enough to hit you.
Yeah.
12, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just 2 degrees of success.
Okay.
But she doesn't slap you like you would expect someone south of the wall to do so. Someone more petite. No, this is a full-on gut punch.
Mm-hmm.
This knocks the wind out of you, as you end up taking 6 damage.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take that.
Mind your own business, Crow, as she storms off, heading below deck.
Feel better. Oh, fuck.
Nothing's broken, but that sucked.
I may not be the wisest individual, but I know better than to talk to a woman who's upset.
I thought I could help.
Well, for your
Please
help,
keep
you
her
have a
still.
punch in the gut. Good work.
Well, maybe she feels better now. Maybe I still helped.
Probably not in the way you wanted.
You hear a yelp coming from below deck, as probably someone else tried to say something and got smacked real hard.
Alrighty.
Oh, I'm gonna feel that.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Captain
thought
comes
Trinity
out after a
life.
bit and just hollers, "You're lolling gagging. Back to work!" And then closes his door.
Oh, back to work, he says. I guess it's back to work.
So work is had as we come up to the close on day 2. Does anyone want to talk to anybody before you all go to sleep?
Sure. Let's go find. I believe Ferris was the bard individual, right? That was somewhat decent with a bow.
Yes, Ferris has proven himself good with a bow, a gentle soul, can carry a tune, and knows how to irritate anyone and everyone.
Alright. Let's go check on my favorite green blood. Let's go find Ferris.
You find him. He's not too far away from Ogden. It's very much seems like Ferris has taken to being Ogden's minder, as his arm still takes time to heal. Brother Elyon?
So, how have the high seas been treating these two? Mostly talking to both of them since they're both there.
Well, aside from being introduced to more death than I have in my entire life, pretty good. Ogden just... No, this is better than where we were, but I'm afraid where we're going, by the sounds of the Skagosi, ain't much better.
Oh, at least you got out there with all 4 of your limbs, boy.
Yeah, mine's healing. If the Skags are, as they are prone to do, over-exaggerating, we can get you back to Eastwatch, have the mace to get a look at you. Make something better than what Bryndon has been managed to cobble together. Industrious soul as these. Get something better fitting.
But like you said, what we might have to face at the wall won't be much better than when we just fought. Probably be worse. Not probably, it will be worse. dangerous.
Not helping with my calm there, brother. Not
I
helping
know.
with my calm.
We have to be realistic. I wish I could play things down for you and do the usual thing I do, which is just kind of be a cock. But what we're coming back to isn't much better.
Ferris just looks you dead in the eye.
I'll look him right back dead in the eye.
There's holding to an oath, and then there's going to your death. Eastwatch is falling. We should stay on this boat. We should stay on this boat, go south, into the gift. We can hold to our oaths, make it to the nearest town, warn them, get horses, and ride for Castle Black. We get help.
We could. Seem to forget that there's another war all of their own that's going on down south. I don't think warning people is going to do much good.
But we can get help.
Get help.
It's better
Not
than
before
just
what's coming
throwing lives away.
overruns. Yes, but we run and get help, and we basically give whatever is coming just more time and an easier time trying to get through. I know you don't like hearing that, but as stupid as this sounds coming from me, apparently, some individual thinks I can stop this with... I assume in the days past, he's been able to, grab one of the weapons that Benjen had, and he'll pull one of them out and just sort of, wave it. Apparently, should be able to stop it with this, according to some other silver-haired, probably talky bastard.
No offense, brother, but I don't think the seven of us are going to tip the scales either way. Especially into a
I
moot
think
point.
I think hopefully we can surprise ourselves.
You can't help but shake his head a little bit. Ogden just with his good arm, pats Ferris on the back. We still got a day to go. We still got a day to go. Who knows what we'll find.
And may the seven guide us.
Cut away. Where do we find Bryndon?
Bryndon, despite his exhaustion, is having trouble sleeping. So he's probably up on deck, just looking at the shore.
Go ahead and give me an awareness notice test.
Great. I love hearing that. Oh, fuck. Okay. It's not that bad. 13.
You're not especially familiar with the coast. You were taken the rough way in. But you've seen enough to know when something's disturbing before. There's a lot more animals heading out to the shore. You see them silhouetted as occasionally the moon breaks through the clouds, hang out towards the beach. There shouldn't be deer on the beach. There shouldn't be that many sounds of birds in flight cawing that you can hear in the distance. There's activity on that shoreline, and it isn't natural. As Bryndon sees this, how is he feeling?
Honestly, he's terrified. He thinks that there's every chance that they could be returning to either a totally raised Eastwatch or an Eastwatch in the process of being raised. He's maybe not certain, but pretty convinced that they're going to their death.
The camera pulls away from Bryndon. Where do we find Stryke?
Stryke is in a hammock on deck, kind of half asleep, half staring at the sky and feeling the wind, just preparing and thinking for what is coming at Eastwatch.
Cold wind starts blowing. Starts rocking. Bitter wind, enough to chill those that know better than to stay on. Most folks start making their way down, battening down the hatches. It definitely feels like a snowstorm's coming in. Most everyone else is ushered off deck. Bryndon, do you go down or do you stay on deck?
I'll go down.
Okay. Stryke, do you go down or do you stay on deck?
I'll stay on deck and
Okay.
enjoy the snow as much as I can.
It starts snowing. Aside from the captain, who has taken up behind the wheel. It's just him and you on deck. The man who was in the crow's nest came down. Doesn't feel like freezing his ass off. About a half hour passes. 45 minutes. Wind picks up. A blue flash in the sky. Blue flash in the sky, blue flash in the water. Blue flash in the sky, blue flash in the water. Blue flash in the sky, blue flash on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
As there is a small figure, petite, ears, wide, black eyes, staring at you.
I stare back for a moment. Almost a little bit of sizing up. And then I ask them, what is it that you want?
The voice doesn't sound human. Not at all. It's like a chorus. A sound of 100 children's voices, speaking ever so slightly out of unison. Child of the third, we seek aid. We seek aid to keep what has already been lost. To stop that which we cannot stop ourselves.
I'll take one just kind of step closer and then nod. If it is aid against that force from the north, and whatever it is that breaks this land, then we will give that aid.
Defilement. Child of the Andals. She seeks to conquer. She seeks to rule as she did once before. Blood of dragon, the blood of old, is all that can stop her. Finally put her to sleep. Anything else just staves off another cycle. She will not stay dead, for she is already dead. She must be slain. Dragon fire, dragon's blood, blood of men, the first who stopped her. That is all in this cycle. Anything else, and she will just return to slumber underneath that marker, and in time she will rise again. Our time grows short, child of the first. We do not have much left. Too many have been ruined. Too many turned to our cause. We tried to warn you. We tried. And all that was answered was with sword and curse. We will not warn you again.
I kind of lower my head a little bit. I'm sorry that we may have angered you or disrespected you. But know now, we will play the part that is needed and do our best to end that cycle.
Is ever so slight. As she locks eyes with you, and for the first time since you've been talking, she actually comes closer. Do you fear death?
I do not fear death. My life is...
I will give you this blessing, child of the first. Crow. You may fall here, but it will not be the end for you. But you will not rise like that. You will be one of us, in a way. You cannot be one of us, but you can be kind of like us. You will live again in the forest. Again and again to murder that which remains unspoken. Rest well, child of the first. be successful. For my sake. And for yours. Blue flash. Go on. You might look
2 deep
behind
breaths.
you.
And then I was going to say, I take 2 deep breaths, and then I kind of slowly turn towards where the captain is.
His eyes just lock with yours. His hands steady at the wheel. We'll drop you off at Eastwatch. But we're not staying.
I expect nothing less. Thank you.
As he continues on piloting the vessel as the snowstorm continues, but has a kindness to it. It is not that hard snow, the one that stings. It is the soft, powdery thing that gives everything a bit of a sheen and sparkle. Makes things look magical, if just for a night. Dawn breaks, and it is a cold one. Cold as hard out. It is the 3rd day. And you can all make warfare checks for me.
Woo.
Warfare command.
Okay. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
I got a
I'm mapping
17.
correctly.
This isn't actually a skill I'm great at, but man, the dice have liked my warfare.
This is going to sound like an odd question, but it might change the die roll a bit. Should I roll for my injury before this, or no?
We'll say your injury's healed for the sake of storytelling, and you can just give
Okay.
me your total.
Then that is going to be a 13.
15. Okay. Bryndon.
We got 2 6s, baby. Woo!
Hey, nice.
Okay. So you guys put your backs into it. You work hard alongside your brothers and a few of this makeshift crew. And Eastwatch comes in sight. It's not on fire. It's not under siege yet. But as she comes into view, you can see that siege weapons are readied. You can see that tree line ahead, that dead zone, has a few fewer trees than it did before, and that there has been fire used in that no man's land. Not a typical payload, one usually only reserved for the worst things. And the horn signals your welcome as the Stonebones docks at Eastwatch. You depart the ship, and waiting for you is not the commander. Instead, it is a number of your brothers, but it seems as the person of the highest standing who greets you is young Maester Lucas Wood.
Hey.
What news do you bring? What do you have?
One,
Where?
I never thought it'd be good to see your face. Two, there is a fucking lot coming here.
Noted. Noted.
An army of beasts commanded by a woman in green. What she has to do with anything, I don't know. And sure, he'll describe the man that Spencer knows as Bryndon Rivers, but Elyon does not. To the Maester to see if he even remotely knows who that is.
He knows immediately who you're talking to.
God.
How many? As soon as you finish describing him, he just looks at you dead in the eye and goes, "How many eyes does a blood raven have?"
Oh God. Remind me, Pope, because I forget he has one.
1001. As Luton turns and with haste leaves you. Get unloaded.
Is that...
Get checked out by the stewards. Debrief them. I have things to look up. And as he's running away, he just turns to one of the other brothers. Their ship. See to attend it. We supply them. I don't fucking care. I don't care that the pirates got our brothers here. See them well off. And if I hear otherwise, I will gild you myself.
Ooh. And that was Maester Lucas that said that?
Yes.
Elyon's like... He doesn't say it, but he has that look of like, well shit, Maester Lucas grew a pair, okay.
And one of the stewards goes, Commander Lucas.
What happened to Yarblow?
Died 2 days ago.
Doing... From what?
Maester said magic.
Okay, well... This is going to be a bit of a talk, but I guess I have to... Well, we... have to inform you on what's coming. And I guess Elyon will do this. I guess gather up every capable brother in Eastwatch in one place.
For every brother that's not on duty, after a while the stewards fill the feast hall for you to the 7 of you to tell your tale.
Okay. From north of this wall, there is an army coming that is unimaginable in size and most likely in power. I know that what is coming seems impossible. Multiple beasts controlled by somebody who probably knows magic in some way, shape, or form, but Eastwatch is our home. If we can have a fucking dragon horn on our part of the wall when no one else can, we will defend this place to the last man. And I'm not stopping until those beasts and the bitch who leads them are dead.
And you would expect a louder cheer, but there is at least a cheer at what you say, as a lot of the men seem surprised, confused. Others seem too much in the know to be overly excited. Stryke, what do you have to say?
All of you know why we're here, why Eastwatch exists. It's because things like this, wildlings and darknesses that have slept in the north, occasionally come down, and there is need for a watch. And there is need for those to be able to stand here and give our lives, give our hearts, so that those to the south can survive. That's not, there is perhaps glory in that, but we're not here for that. This is just the duty that we've been given, and we're going to need to stand here and try and make sure that this is the last time that this darkness rides south towards our land, and that it stops here this time. I will be there.
Either.
Yeah.
Not
I will be
Charles
standing
Shears
there
either.
waiting for it.
But with that said, a lot of the old guard just hoist their glasses in quiet solidarity. Down
I like to
them,
imagine
and
you
then
just hear,
slam them on the wood.
you just hear like one guy that's like, yeah!
Bryndon, do you have anything to say?
He's kind of silent for just a moment, and then he realizes that people are expecting him to say something. Not all of us chose this. I think a good number of us were forced to take the black. To take these oaths that we've taken. I was one of them. But we're here now. We're here now, and it would be a crying shame to let this defeat us. We may not have wanted this. But I don't know about the rest of you, but when I took it, I told myself I'd make the most of it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think of the people who are still south of that wall, who I still care deeply for. And I'm going to stand on that wall, and I'm going to do everything in my power to stop what's on the other side of it from coming south.
between the conviction of the three of you, small
Yeah.
chant starts. And it starts small, it starts quiet, but eventually it overtakes the hall. And that cry is, "Until our watch is ended." But that is where we end tonight for Brotherhood of Shadows. So, let's be a regular here because this was an irregular tale. Greg, my friend, where can we find you and what are you up to, friend?
Yeah, Greg, I'm with Blackshield Productions, Blackshieldprod on Twitter, and I'm again doing some 5th edition D&D this Sunday, the finale of our experiment of having chat run voices in the head of the player characters. We'll see how that turns out. We have had a small problem with a lot of talking animals joining the group. And we're looking at a spin-off adventure where there's 3 talking chickens, a talking goat, a cat, and a lizard who somehow have to save the world. We're not sure yet, but we'll get there eventually. Anyways, that's on Sunday and over on the Black Shield Productions Twitch channel. And hopefully that'll be exciting. That's about... after that, I'm going to find out what I'm doing next month. I don't know yet. So we'll see. And I'm looking forward to finishing up Brotherhood of Shadows next session. I think that perhaps Stryke's watch might be over, but we'll see.
We'll see. Someone else will see about Bryndon. Celeste, where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hey everybody, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I don't do a whole lot of streaming of my own, but you can find me on other people's channels pretty much all the time. I'm here next week for the finale. Gosh, it's been a ride. I'm so excited. But other than that, you can catch me every other Sunday over on twitch.tv/MattTab7 with another certain someone up on this screen. Playing a little bit of fun, youthful superhero action with Masks Sunset City. We had a little bit of a hiatus this past Sunday, had a bit of a break. Should be back, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday, seeing what's happening when the Misfits take on the Warriors, trying to take Beowulf's sword to give to May so that somebody gets unbanned from the bar. It's complicated. You gotta be there. You gotta be there. That's really it for me right now. I don't really have a whole lot going on except for trying to get my life in order. But after that, I should have some things in the works. So keep an eye on my Twitter for updates on me and what I'm up to, because I'm going to be up to a couple more things coming up soon, hopefully.
And speaking of hope, Spencer, how are you doing, my friend, and where can we find you?
Well, Elyon does not have much of that, but I am Spencer at SpencerDB on Twitter, Discord, etc., etc. Right now, this is currently all I am doing in terms of streaming, but just some stuff I want to talk about that isn't streamed, but I am having fun with anyway. I currently run an Icewind Dale campaign with several friends in the channel, including Wally, who is absolutely wonderful. He's on the Matev 7 channel for the Mass game, and it's also on Into the Black. Into the Black Oblivion with Black Void. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Into
know
the Oblivious
things.
Depths.
Into the Oblivious Depths. Oh boy, I really screwed that up. But
the only reason I can say this is because I ran Exalted. Yes.
But yeah, there's that, and coming up in probably the next month or so, I'll be running like an off-stream Mask one shot with some folks, with also Wally being included in that, and I'm super excited to run that game. So I am excited for all the off-stream stuff I'm doing in the next couple months here. So, yeah.
Sounds delightful.
Oh, yes.
And
It's
yeah,
going to be fun.
by all means, catch our friend Wally wherever you can, whether it's on Colonomicon's channel on Mondays for Monster of the Week Act 3, Into the Oblivious Depths over on Weed and Tail, or with me, Hope, over on Valdrian's channel at 2 p.m. Eastern, where we are a bunch of terrible mech pilots in Lancer Shades of Tartarus. If you want to see more of my ridiculous face, Wally's or Celeste, you can check out every other Sunday over on my EP7's channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern for Masked Sunset City, where I'm going to be having to not just fight the warriors, but also duck an X. So we'll see how successful that goes. And then if you want something completely different, Wednesdays before this, I am over on Follow Black Cats for Hexcrawl, the spy game. And that is at 3 p.m. Eastern. Well, it should be from now on. Damn you, daylight savings time! As Europe finally catches up with the U.S., because it's been at 4 these past 2 weeks. But no, that's where you can check me out. And I want to thank all of you who are watching, whether it's live, VOD, YouTube. A story is nothing without an audience, and you are as much a part of the story as we are. Thank you all so much. But I would be remiss if I didn't let you in on one more thing. So, just a ways away from that dead man's land, between the wall and the haunted forest, there are 2 dire wolves. They are sniffing around and beginning a baleful howl. That howl is matched by a number of croaking throats, mouths rotted or frozen, all letting out a hideous wail, all along the eastern reach of the wall, all along the haunted forest. It spans more than Eastwatch. It spans far. But a bird of prey circles just outside of Arrow's reach and comes back down to perch on a shoulder clad in green. But as we pull away from this beast that means to conquer, there is a familiar face in the army. A few familiar faces. Hardhome has emptied its streets. Brothers clad in black no longer rest in graves along the shore. And the white who once shooed the brothers in black off stands with a woodsman's axe in hand at the edge of the forest. Pleasant dreams, everyone. See you next week. Love you all.